The housing market right now is honestly moving at a rate that is hard for most people to keep up with the average days on market being just under 30 days from the time that a house goes from listed to sold. It's hard for a lot of people to compete in this market. But I want to make sure that I give you the tools and resources that you need to be able to actually show up in this market so that you're not left feeling frustrated, stuck, or behind. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can start doing right now to help go from that place to being ahead. And if you're new here, my name is Thomas Baker. I am a New Jersey real estate agent, but I'm also an educator. I spent 5 years in the classroom teaching, and I really have a passion and a heart for helping people get information that they need to be able to thrive in life. So that's what I do here on YouTube. So if you find value in what it is that I'm doing, just feel free to stick around and just soak in all the content, and hopefully you'll be able to take something from this and apply it to your life. But without further ado, let's get into the content. So step 1 of this process, honestly, is one of the most important things because it has to do with you and it has to do with accountability. And step 1 is know what your actual buying power is. And the caveat to that is not just what the lender tells you. In a previous video, I talked about how to determine affordability on a monthly basis. And basically what I talked about there was just how to take how much you make per month and apply that to a formula and get what number you actually should be spending per month on your housing. How does that relate to this? Well, it's really the same thing. A lender will tell you how much you can afford based on all the numbers that they run, and they'll spitball a huge number, and it's a number that's way more than you should spend on a house, and it ends up causing you to be what's called house poor or cost burden, which simply means you're paying more than 30% of your income on your housing. So what I want you to do to avoid this is to figure out exactly how much you can afford. So if you didn't do so already, go back and watch that video and then come back to this video and go through the next steps. But again, if you already did that, then you already know why it's important for you to figure out what your true buying power is and not just what the lender tells you, because you want to be in a position where you can actually enjoy your house and your money can actually create a lifestyle that you are happy with and one that doesn't leave you burdened and bogged down and honestly just resenting the decision that you made to purchase or rent the house that you want to live in. Now, and beyond that, like it's not just really determining affordability, it's also just determining what you actually have. Recently, I just had a client where they were qualified for a certain amount and affordability was exactly where it needed to be. But even beyond that, they were able to close fast. They had more money to put towards their down payment to help reduce their monthly costs. And they were able to just compete with the multiple bids that were coming in on the property. So it's not just determining how much you can afford, but it's also determining what you can do with what you have to maybe make yourself stand out. Can you remove the contingency? A lot of people, they put inspection contingencies and a lot of different things that make sellers maybe not want to go with their offer. But like I said, in my case, my client, all they wanted to do was close fast and they just wanted a home inspection. They didn't want anything else. They didn't want any seller concessions. They didn't want any seller finance. They didn't want any of that. They just wanted to be able to get the mortgage, get the house, and they did that. So we were able to close in 30 days. So yeah, I mean, it's important to figure out how much you can afford, but it's also important to figure out exactly what you were able to do within the context of a transaction. And honestly, it's hard to do that when you're not working with someone like myself, a realtor who is experienced and has the know-how to be able to leverage what it is that you can do in a transaction. But again, it starts with you. It starts with knowing what you have, where you are, and being totally honest and transparent with that process. Now, once you do that, then you can move on to step number 2, which is, I think honestly, beyond the affordability aspect and buying power, it's probably one of the most important things, which is you want to be clear on non-negotiables and preferences. This is huge. Like I always ask my clients, if we found the perfect house at the perfect price, but maybe it didn't have a finished basement, is that a deal breaker or is that a detail? Is that something that you were willing to overlook? You got to so for you, before you go out and start searching for houses and start seeing things that you love and that you hate, so on and so forth, I think you should sit down with your partner, or if you're doing this independently, sit down and make a list with 2 columns. And one column is must-haves, meaning absolutely, like we're not compromising on this. And then make another column and list out things that are nice to have. Doing this really helps you avoid decision fatigue. and buyer's remorse. And trust me, like it'll save you from falling for a listing that actually isn't really what you need and one that doesn't fit your life. So, maybe having a finished basement isn't the most important thing because you still are able to have a driveway and have a detached property and have a garage and have central air. So maybe you'd be willing to compromise on that basement, but would you be willing to compromise on having central air? Because then maybe at that point you have to get air conditioning units and put them in, and that could raise your energy costs. So things like that like that you really should list out and figure out what are absolute must-haves and what are some things that just would be nice to have. And in many cases this can be a sacrifice, but recently I was at a conference at church and he said something about sacrifice and compromise that really spoke to me. And what he said was that sacrifices are not forever, they're just for now. So maybe for now, you're not able to get that property that has everything on your nice to have list. But if you can get the things that you must have, then that's something that's worth sacrificing and then being able to continue to work towards that in the future and getting more of those things that you would like to have. And the third thing that is really important and something that really will make or break a deal is timing. Timing kills deals, but it also closes deals. You don't need to rush. Like I'm not saying go start looking at houses right now and put it offer in it and try to close by the end of the month. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is you do need to be ready. You need to make sure that you're taking the steps necessary to be able to determine what you can afford, get approved, have cash on hand for closing and down payment, do any lender requirements that they require you to do before they can actually give you your loan. Like, make sure you do those things. Secure that new job location if you're moving out of state. Whatever it is that you need to do, make sure you do that. Because if a great home hits the market and you're not ready to take a tour, make an offer, or answer your lender's call, someone else will be. Preparation gives you power. And I'll be honest, like that is the thesis of what it is that I do. Like I want to help people be prepared for this life-changing event, which is buying a house. But also this applies to selling a house too. But whichever side of the fence you find yourself on, whether you're selling or buying, this is what I do this for. I want you to walk away feeling prepared. So it's 3 very simple things that you can apply right now. Determining your buying power, sitting down with an agent, sitting down with the lender and figuring out exactly what you can do and how you can go about your process that is unique to you and that will work for you. Getting clear on your non-negotiables, having that must-have list and having that nice-to-have list, and being honest about those things as well. When you do all this, you are making yourself prepared, and now time can be an asset to you and not a liability. If you're serious about buying a house in South Jersey, you don't have to go about it alone. I built the Smart Buyer Playbook so you don't have to guess. All the guesswork, I got rid of that for you. Inside, you will find videos and resources and the exact checklist that you need totally for free. I give it away for free. All you have to do is click that link below. You'll get the top 3 mistakes to avoid, you'll get a clear plan for your first steps, and you'll get access to listings that are customized for you on a weekly, daily, monthly basis. Honestly, it's everything I wish more buyers would have right now. So all you have to do is click the link in the description to get it. And you'll be one step closer to buying with confidence and not confusion. Until next time.